She loves being on the beach. She loves being in the hospitality industry. Today on our continuing African edition of Daring Abroad, we pitch tent in Mauritius, where Kenyan-born Morna Berthelot shares her passion for adventure.
Although you have beaches in Kenya, I know we've got some beautiful beaches there, but people to come here and learn the culture and know about Mauritius. Mauritius has become so popular in the map these days.
Morna Berthelot is a special events manager at Longbeach Resort in Mauritius and has lived here for the past 22 years. She, however, has strong Kenyan roots.
So my parents on my dad's side was from India and from my mum's side was from Seychelles. But they were both, my parents were also born in Kenya. My dad's side, his parents came to Kenya because they were teachers.
Morna grew up in Lang'ata Nairobi County. Upon completion of her studies, she began working at Fuji Kenya Limited that was based in Westlands, a company she says is still dear to her.
I learned a lot of things through them, and I actually worked with the government indirectly through them because we were the first company then that started doing microfilm business, where we used to actually photograph, document, and we did it for the NSSF. And we worked with law firms, but my biggest project was the ministry and NSSF.
While working, Morna was introduced to her husband, a Mauritian who was studying in Kenya then.
My husband's parents, his dad used to work for the Mumia sugar factory, and he used to be in charge of the boilers there. And my husband at the time came to study in Kenya because his parents didn't want to leave him here on his own in Mauritius.
And as fate would have it, Morna left Kenya at the age of 26 upon marriage and began her new life in Mauritius. But how was it for a young Morna who had just left the comfort of her home for a nation that she knew very little about?
Mauritius has become a very safe hub. People come here, they can drive around, you can travel, you don't have the security risk that you may have in any part of the world where there are security risks. Here being an island, it's very much an island style life. They're very big-hearted people, they're always willing to help. You could be lost in your car, you know that somebody will be there to help you, but you don't feel any risk coming towards you. It's really a one-to-one. People like to meet people.
Despite her positive attitude, the transition was not very easy for her. Mauritius, being an island nation, was quite isolated from the rest of Africa.
They don't know much about Kenya. They know Africa as a whole. They know generally about that it's wildlife, but they've not had the opportunity really to go because it's never been opened up, I think, to the market. So there's no connection, really direct connection with Kenya.
She was, however, able to make the best of her situation and soon found employment in the hospitality industry.
I'm working here at Longbeach Resort in Mauritius. I've been with the company Sun Resorts because Longbeach is part of the Sun Resorts chain of hotels. It's a modern, very contemporary hotel. It's been built 7 years ago, so it's still a very young hotel. And we also have a golf course. So I know Kenya is big on golf. There's a big golfing community in Kenya. So I know this is another huge attraction, I think, for Kenyans to come and play golf with us. We have 4 properties in Mauritius. So Long Beach and Sugar Beach, which is on the west coast, these are 5-star properties. But we also have 4-star properties. One is called Om Hotel, which is a typical adult-only, all-inclusive property. And the other one is called La Pirogue, which is also a very flagship property. Since the last 42 years it's been open. And it's a very well-known property also in Mauritius. So there's a little bit of for everyone.
We will find out more on Morna's experience in Mauritius right after our Miles Away segment.
On Miles Away, we'll look at African countries where one can travel to without first having to acquire a visa. A visa is an endorsement made on a passport indicating that the holder is allowed to enter, leave, or stay for a specified period of time in a particular country. As of 2018, a holder of a Kenyan passport is allowed access to over 70 countries and territories visa-free. Of these, 33 are African. These include Benin, Botswana, Burundi, Cape Verde, DRC, Djibouti, Ethiopia, Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Lesotho, Madagascar, Malawi, Mali, Mauritania, Mauritius, Mozambique, Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, Senegal, Seychelles, Sierra Leone, Somalia, South Sudan, Sudan, Swaziland, Tanzania, Togo, Uganda, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. It is, however, important to note that some of these countries will require one to obtain a visa on arrival, while others would require one to get an e-visa. And that's Miles Away. My name is Michael Zimanji.
So this is called parasailing. Parasailing because para is parachute and sailing. So you're actually sailing in the sky. They can do it as single or as...
Before our Miles Away segment, we had learned that Morna Berthelot had just moved to Mauritius and had gotten employment as a special events manager at Longbeach Resort. But how different is it working in the hospitality industry in Mauritius?
Mauritius is Africa. It's not any different. We're all part of African country, as you know, we're part of SADC, COMESA, and also we're definitely part of it. It's just culturally that's different. And don't forget, you may have felt it or you might have seen it. There's so many cultures in Mauritius. There are many cultures in Mauritius, but everybody has their culture, but everybody works as one, as a Mauritian. So it's very much a united feeling.
Mauritius is also regarded as the most politically stable country in the entire African continent, which makes it a top tourist destination.
Although you have beaches in Kenya, I know we've got some beautiful beaches there, but people to come here and learn the culture and know about Mauritius. Mauritius has become so popular in the map these days.
She further believes that the two nations should take advantage of the new direct flights between them to work together and build each other's economy.
Kenya now, it's become a hub, and Kenya's hub goes to international levels, which means you're going to have flights all over the world, and I believe you're going to be doing a connection directly with the States. This gives us another opportunity to bring people to Kenya. First of all, they will do a safaris, which I think that's Africa needs. You need to come this side of the world, you have to do a safari. But they can connect with beaches also, which means they can do what they call now a bush and beach experience. It just opens up a whole new world to everybody. It makes the world smaller, as I said.
For Morna, working at the resort also came with an added advantage. The beaches here remind her of her homeland.
It's like the sand in Kenya. But I always used to, maybe it's a childhood thing, I don't know, but in my mind, in my experience, when I close my eyes, I see the Diani beach, I used to think it's like powder. So fine, very fine, fine sand.
This love for Kenya is something that is well known by all who work with her.
Anybody here can tell you. They asked me, where are you from? I said, first of all, I'm African. They said, "Oh, but you're African, you can't be African." I said, yes, I'm African. It's something, you know, Africa, Kenya is something that I think stays with everybody who's been there, who's lived there. It stays in your heart.
Even after 22 years abroad, she always enjoys meeting fellow Kenyans who visit the island nation.
I've met already 3 couples that came on honeymoon. Kenyans, yeah. So it was really nice to meet Kenyans. They all know here. When they hear Morna here is Kenyan, she wants to meet the guests, she wants to see the guests. So it was really nice.
For this reason, Myrna believes she will never lose her connection to Kenya.
Got a lot of friends who now live in England, in Europe, in Canada. And every time I talk to them, you know, the best thing now is Facebook. Facebook is the easiest way. But every time you chat with them, they always refer back to Kenya. Oh, if only we can go back. We still remember.
But what lesson has she learned from her experience in the tourism industry in Mauritius?
People are now getting more and more interested to go closer and to places that are safe and places where they can, you know, they can feel free. I think that's what a lot of Mauritius got to offer.
And these are Myrna's final remarks on our Diaspora Bite.
I think first of all for us Mauritians to go to Kenya, like I said, it's become closer. So the fact that you have flights almost every single day, it gives people opportunities even just to go for 5-6 days, which they take away from the busy schedule. It just brings people closer and that you can actually learn cultures and you have an experience.
And that's Daring Abroad, this time from Mauritius.